Welcome back to The Great Journey. It's your boy Jim hosting again. We are six friends dedicating to re-exploring the vast universe of Halo one installment at a time. We'll be covering the books, graphic novels, films, and of course the games. And we'll be discussing, learning, and reminiscing along the way. Tonight, back at full strength, all six with my fellow hosts, Tom, Charlie, James, Will, and my boy Bobby. We already know the PvP match. We're dropping Robbie since he's coming in from out of town, but thankful he's making the time for us to get on the pod. Before we proceed,
thank you, Robbie.
We have an exciting announcement for listeners and hosts alike. This, our soon-to-be 24th episode of the show, marks exactly 1 year since we recorded episode 1. So, listener, thanks for being with us along the way, 1 whole year. Feels like we've done a lot, but thank you. There we go. We've barely scratched the surface. Looking at the daunting list of material still left over. Sorry, go ahead, James.
Well, one thing I realized, we didn't do literally the first sentence properly in this podcast.
Yeah, dropping the ball at 1 year. Oh, man.
we screwed up. No one said the great journey.
You guys were stunned into silence by my high energy
we
intro.
were.
Oh, absolutely.
So we'll try it. Ready? I'll give me a GJ. Ready? Great journey.
Great journey. Oh my god.
There we go. Beautiful. 1 full year. That's what 1 year of practice gets us. All right. So looking at the daunting list of material still left to cover, it's fair to say we have our work cut out for us. But if 1 year down means anything, it proves you're committed to seeing through the great journey.
The great
journey.
Great journey.
We're getting warmed up. We got her. So thanks, listeners, again for 1 really fun year. So on our previous episode, we powered through more chapters of Silent Storm, discussing 15 through 22. Here's a quick recap. John emerges from the avalanche of ice that engulfed the Spartans and Prowler's Starry Night. Working to prevent the Covenant from capturing any sensitive data on board, they rescue the survivors and destroy the vessel with a nuclear device. The resulting explosion downs a Covenant recovery vessel, and Halsey is able to recover Covenant navigation tech. With the death of Halima Ascot, Nieto is now commander of Task Force Yama. However, with suspicions surrounding Nieto continuing to grow, Crowther deliberately withholds the Spartans and instead tasks them to attack the Covenant fleet from the rear by disrupting their supply routes. Emerging from the planet Italan, the Spartans plan to attack and destroy important Covenant vessels known as skimmers, which will harbor their offensive. Using captured Covenant Banshees, Blue Team is able to get within range to arm nukes, and the vessels are destroyed. Meanwhile, the rebel forces arrange a meeting with Silent Shadow Warrior Tel Satalai, and once again make their bid to ally themselves with the Covenant. They provide schematics for the Spartans' Mjolnir armor, while Nieto is confirmed to be the mole inside the task force, and will provide further UNSC strategies. However, with the destruction of the skimmers, the fleet is now at a serious disadvantage. Worse yet, the humans now possess the Kelgwid star map and can figure out where the important Covenant supply depot is at. The fleet will now amass around the station, spring a trap upon the attacking Spartans. Setting up for a exciting conclusion. Moving on, we have some actually from last week.
Actually.
This section serves as our chance to get any unresolved questions answered and or correct anything we might have said wrong. We're learning as we're going and striving to get the facts straight. Last episode, Will couldn't move past what happened to the remaining Spartans, incapacitated in the avalanche. Although it's not officially stated, let's assume that if John was able to get out, then the others could theoretically have done the same. Per the book, an arrow displayed on his HUD indicating which way was up. He was also able to twist his hands and then arms back and forth using the fission power Mjolnir armor and clear space around him, pushing the ice downward until he was mobile. So let's go with that and move on. Robbie had asked if Halsey was referencing High Charity as the base of Covenant supply operations. In short, the answer is no. As we will see tonight, the next phase of the Spartan attacks will take place on a planet Badra, the humans, and Zost by the Covenant. That is all we will say for now. Finally, considering that the UNSC versus insurrectionist conflict is a big aspect of this story, and given we discussed the reasoning and morality of selling out humanity to the Covenant, it may be beneficial to once again talk about a brief history of this war and consider the impetus of conflicts for both sides. Wow, impetus, Charlie. That's a $2 word.
There you go.
Beginning as early as the late 2300s, outer colonies began to provide a bigger fraction of agriculture and materials to the inner colonies, thus making the innies more and more dependent on the fucking outies. Oh my god, that's why they're called that. I thought it was acronyms. Given that the UEG, United Earth Government, oversaw the exploration and establishment of the planets that became the inner colonies, the increased demand for goods meant that corporations became the main sponsor for outer colony creation. The recruitment standards were much looser, and both criminals and individuals upset with inner colony oversight could find a place on outer colonies. Kind of like it's just like an Australia situation.
Right.
Just shipping all the crappy people out there, all the prisoners. As time went on, were increased taxes levied upon. Do you think they have Australian? Are the Audis all have Aussie accents too? Oi, the Covenant.
Obviously. Oi.
Make a deal with the Covenant. Oi.
Fucking buggers.
Yeah. Fucking grunts. As time went on, there were increased taxes levied upon the outer colonies, as well as privacy and general unrest, which led to the application of the CMA, Colonial Military Authority, into the galaxy. However, the military presence continued to anger the outer colonists, leading to the creation of the insurrectionist group like the People's Occupation and the Secessionist Union. In 2487, they formally asked the UEG for independence and were denied. By this time, elements of the CMA became sympathetic to the insurrectionists. So in comes the UNSC, the heavy-handed authority to quell the increasing unrest in the outer colonies. This came to a head at a colony known as Far Isle, which is one of the first to descend into all-out rebellion. Instead of coming to an understanding, the UNSC destroyed the entire planet, killing everyone. Jesus. Of course, enraged, and this incited more insurrectionist uprising until the event that officially started the Human Insurrectionist War, the Callisto Incident. Insurrectionists captured the UNSC corvette Callisto and destroyed more UNSC vessels as they pursued. Preston Cole, then a lieutenant, managed to trick the Callisto into a trap and recapture the corvette. Recognizing the strength and size of the rebel forces, the war deteriorated into back-and-forth attacks from both sides. We've already talked about some insurrection attacks, bombs placed by rebels on Haven killing 2 million people, or the destruction of a luxury liner on planet Reach. Additionally, we've covered the UNSC rebuttal with Operation Trebuchet, which led to millions of deaths, civilians included. We could have spent an entire episode going into the intricacies and more detailed events of the war, but for now, we've spent enough on this brief history. It's fair to say that there are valid reasons for heavy-handed responses from both sides, and it's also fair to agree with Robbie's sentiment that everyone sucks here.
Everyone sucks.
Everybody sucks. What do you think, listener? Were the rebels justified in their attacks? Is the UNSC necessary to keep the peace in the galaxy? Tell us your thoughts. Maybe we'll revisit this down the line. Any thoughts on the recap of the insurrection? I did not know anything about that previously.
Yeah, that was a good recap.
Pretty shocking. That is pretty intense backstory.
I didn't know about that Far Isle
Right?
thing.
The UNSC just smoked a whole planet?
No better than the Covenant.
Seriously.
Yeah, so with a little bit further context, I think it's fair to say that, you can understand both sides, I would say. Obviously, I want to say violence is not the answer, but, let's set up this universe.
Well, it puts into perspective why these rebels were trying to communicate with the Covenant and set up a deal with the Covenant if the UNSC is also basically fucking glassing planets as well.
Right.
Fair.
No further thoughts on that, boys?
Nope.
All right, cool. Moving on. More importantly, we've got tonight's chapters to burn through. We proceed with the final 6 chapters of Silent Storm, 23 through the epilogue. Buckle up, boys. We're wrapping this puppy up. Chapter 23. We open upon the UNSC cruiser vanishing point as a joint force of Spartans and Black Daggers prepare to board their prowlers and initiate their next operation. To engage the Covenant reinforcements stationed at planet Naraka and infiltrate their orbital facilities to sabotage their operations. John is apprehensive about the operation led by the traitor Nieto, but Johnson and Crowther pull him aside and assure the young Spartan that they have the upper hand on Nieto. Crowther tells John he will be leading the fight this time and reinforce this decision with a 4-rank promotion to Master Chief Petty Officer John 117. Crowther imparts a word of wisdom to John along with it, to quickly learn how to operate as a commander who can give orders and trust his soldiers to fulfill them without intervening. With that, the operation is greenlit, and the Spartans, spread amongst the Black Daggers, depart on their prowlers. However, before they enter slipspace, John provides the pilot with a message directly from Crowther. Knowing Nieto still has loyalty from Prowler's group, the pilot listens, and as it is explained that Nieto is compromised and orders have changed. The tension is finally cut when the pilot accepts John as his new commander. Chapter 24. On board the Prowler Ghost Song, John, Nieto, and Crowther observe the start of the operation. Johnson is secretly armed, and Crowther plans to take command and detain Nieto once the traitor slips up. Naeto stalls as long as possible as he does not have confirmation of the Spartans' location. Upon ordering an uncensored transmission to find them, Crowther makes his move. As soon as Naeto is confronted and Johnson pulls his pistol, a firefight erupts on the bridge. Crowther is killed, and Johnson is forced to flee through the ship as he awaits backup from Nellie Ham. When the Black Daggers arrive, the team works to retake the ship and get Naeto before he can contact the Covenant. Just as they are about to breach into the final compartment, the hatch is opened and the team is sucked into the vacuum of space. With no other option, Johnson initiates his emergency beacon, bringing Naeto's prowlers down upon them. Sudden death of Crowther, that was, I think, pretty unceremonious, right? He just got blasted.
Yeah, and didn't in the last chapter, didn't he just tell John, like, don't be a hero?
Yeah, he did, right? That was one of his big critiques of him.
Yeah, and then he, like, puts himself in, like, one of the most dangerous positions
Right.
and is like a hero.
I loved the tension of that scene. You're just like, okay, what's gonna happen? Is Naeto gonna try to do something? And then all hell just breaks loose. Love that part.
Yeah, like Johnson was, or I forget whose perspective it was in exactly, but they were like, we don't know who on this ship right now is still loyal to Naeto. There's, we're traitors amongst us sort of thing. And like literally as soon as they make their move, it just completely backfires. And I agree with you guys. It's just like, if you're going to take over Naeto, why do it on his ship amongst his people with Johnson just with 2 pistols? Like, you think it's going to go well? Obviously not.
I think they were like they had like a squad or I don't know, like a battalion or something of the Black Daggers on, but they all just get ejected right before everything goes. Yeah, it's a really good scene. They're just like waiting, like, okay, when is Naeto gonna like break off from what the plan is? And then the moment he does, it just goes crazy.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's just like straight up any other mutiny of any,
Yeah, it seemed kind of weird. Like, I guess it was the following chapter. I mean, not to be huge spoilers by any means, but they're just talking with John about that and how whenever they needed to get rid of somebody on the flight deck, like Naeto could just like pick and choose whoever. So yeah, that is kind of surprising, and they decided to do it on one of Naeto's prowlers with him on it. Like, of course he's gonna just rig the whole crew up to be insurrectionists. Like, come on, what are you thinking?
It paid for it with his life and half his brain.
Do you guys think that Naeto survives? Because Johnson puts in a few bullets into the back of his chair, but it's never clear whether Naeto survives or not. If he actually hits him.
I feel like they will make him.
We're gonna touch on that later. I think it's it's implied
okay.
that he's still alive.
Is it weird? So John gets this promotion when they're like 16 at this point, right?
Yeah, just turning. I think he's. I don't know if he had a birthday in this, but he does mention being 15.
Okay, so he's like 15, 16.
Yeah.
He gets this big ass promotion. Is it kind of weird that like 30 years later he's still at the same rank? Like,
I mean, I guess. I mean,
Like,
he started 8. I don't know. It feels weird to make him like an 11-year-old.
He doesn't.
You
He doesn't want to get
officer.
promoted out of the field. He doesn't want to get put on a desk job.
Yeah, that's right.
yeah.
Just keep me in the field. I'll just be Master Chief. It sounds good. Potential franchise material right there.
Fun fact: this operation is taking humanity beyond its furthest explored space, going where no man has gone before.
You got to think that like basically everything we've read so far has been taking place in or around human planets, right? Now humanity's going all the way out to this Covenant depot on a planet that they've never been to before, and like Jim said, they actually went the farthest humanity's ever been out into space in order to attack this this depot. So it's kind of cool, just considering that.
Taking the fight to the Covenant.
Ooh, that's a good point. We're swinging back. All right, moving on to chapter 25. Meanwhile, in the Prowler, Black Widow John, Esme Gyate receive Johnson's distress call. They watch as Covenant vessels disembark and make their way to the call. Their path appears to be the same vector that the Spartans and Dagger Force were originally headed before John changed the plan. Dagger Force was assigned to attack, infiltrate, and destroy Covenant refitting facilities orbiting planet Naraka, 10 in total. However, it appears that the enemy has strong defense capabilities around these facilities, likely from the enemy knowing their plans, and John must change gears. Noticing the structures have grav lifts extending from the surface up to orbit, they come back up with a plan to land on the planet and infiltrate from below. Black Widow flies down to the surface of the tropical misty planet and catch the Covenant logistics team by surprise. They engage a pair of brutes protecting the lift, and John leads by entrusting an ODST to destroy them with rockets. Although the Black Dagger is mortally wounded in the process, the path up to the facility is now cleared. They arm a nuke at the base and make their way up. Learning that other Spartan teams were prevented from reaching their objectives, Blue Team and the remaining ODSTs must take the facilities themselves. Maybe chapter 26 too, it's a quick one. Tel Satsalai is summoned to the bridge on board the carrier Pious Rampage, that last name, where he once again meets Fleet Master Niziat Kavorsi and the Minor Minister of Artifact Survey. Kavorsi is clearly troubled with the unfolding battle as they still have not located the whereabouts of the Spartans. The human attacks on the orbiting stations were repelled, but Survey believes it's to be a diversion to instead attack High Charity. Satsalai notices other contact upon the hollow projector and is finally told about the attack at the base of the grav lift. He now knows the humans' plan of attack and departs to end the Spartans once and for all. Cool. So we got a nice cool Covenant chapter too, as John's trying to infiltrate the Covenant ship.
Yeah, we get their version of events, you know. I was kind of surprised that Kavoresi, or whatever his name is, he seemed like totally unfazed with, you know, some dudes, the small little team attacking, you know, the base of the grav lift. And it takes Zatchelai to come in and be like, wait, that's like really bad, guys. We should do something about this.
Yeah.
But
they're super cocky, the Covenant. They're always like underestimating us.
Yeah, especially these first kind of encounters, right? Because this is still pretty early on. So it does seem like, I think we've talked about this before, that the Covenants comes off as pretty arrogant a lot of times.
I will say
So
that
in the previous chapter, go ahead.
Sorry, I just want to add on to that real quick. I will say that I think they're building up that sort of feeling, especially in this book, because, you know, we'll get to the conclusion, at least of this book, and see how that plays out. But that, you know, Fleet Master Kavoresi might change his mind about the humans, you know? So maybe they're like deliberately making the Covenant seem super cocky and downplay, you know, humans' abilities and stuff like that, just to kind of build that up. Maybe it's my thought. Sorry to cut you off, Will.
Oh, no problem. I was just gonna say, like, in the previous chapter, he has that talk with Crowther. Crowther has that talk with John about, you know, being a commander and what that actually means. And in this chapter, you know, John thinks about what he was told, and he lets that one ODST clear that path, and he immediately gets killed. And it has John thinking about, you know, what Crowther said to him about being a leader and just entrusting the people that he's leading to do the job. And sometimes that means, you know, things don't end that well for the person, you know, that you're commanding.
Yeah, it was definitely a quick, like, lesson learned sort of situation. Like, yeah, he like you said, he allowed the guy to clear the path, ended that in that guy's death. But, you know, it proves that maybe he is maturing a little bit as a leader, you know, as a Spartan. So, and I mean, we're going to see more examples as we read along, you know, of him entrusting other teammates to do the work as well. So,
I think
Pious Rampage is a badass name. I agree with you.
It is sweet.
Jim.
Thank you.
I mean, all the ships' names in these books are badass, like the Black Widow. They're all sweet.
We're back to the cool ship names. Last book didn't really do that great of a job with those.
I completely disagree. Remember we were talking about how the names of the Covenant people and their ship names were very ironic.
They were ironic. They weren't. They were
Yeah.
like yes, it was good writing, and they fit within the story, but they weren't badass.
That's fair, I guess.
But I agree with you. They were still good on being a little harsh.
Can you be pious but also like go on a rampage, or is that
I
conflicting?
don't think they're mutually exclusive.
Yeah, sure. If your religion, is all about like killing people, then yeah.
That adds up.
What do you guys think of this massive support ring station that they're talking about? Gave it a name, the Ring of Mighty Abundance. I thought it was cool. I could picture it as I'm reading this like massive orbiting ring structure with all these lifts going up to it, like a refitting facility. I thought it was pretty cool. It's crazy to think though that one team and some ODSTs are going to clear 10 different stations, and I was like, we only have 30-40 pages left in this book, like what's going to happen, sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it isn't just one team. There's also a green team taking out some of them.
Yeah, we do
Shout
learn
out
that,
to my
but
boy Kurt,
yeah.
leader of green team. Yeah, home.
Didn't they make it seem like in this chapter that they were on their own? I thought it kind of made it seem like the other teams got held up, so it's like they're going to do it themselves. Clearly not the case later, as we'll find out. But also, we learn in the chapter with the Covenant here that this world, they pronounce it as Zoist, Zhoist. It's very important to the Covenant, I guess, religion in a way, where it was a planet that was filled with Forerunner relics and Forerunner technology and stuff. And they explain that, a lot of the current weaponry and advanced ship technologies they have basically came from this planet. So obviously some green guys trying to destroy it is not a good thing for them, at least.
Yeah, when one of the ship masters is like, why don't we just reverse the grav lifts? And they're like, what? And let them touch like the holy ground again?
Right.
Like that's heresy.
Yeah, just a little bit more of the world building around the Covenant side, and how they got to the status that they are right now. So obviously we know that they steal and repurpose Forerunner stuff, but now we know where they essentially got it from. So
nice. That is a good piece of detail there. Moving on to chapter 27. Blue team and the daggers ascend the grav lift to the station above. Nearing the end of the portal, the teams are caught in a crossfire of Covenant soldiers. Trying to make their way towards safety before the nuke destroys the lift, they fight their way to the entrance of a transit tube connecting the stations. The daggers take heavy losses as the bomb erupts, turning off the grav lift and sucking the remaining casualties and enemies into space. Blue team and survivors get to work on the next phase, traveling in the tubes, station to station, arming nukes along the way. They hijack a Covenant hovercraft and use surprise and speed to accomplish the task. Things seem to be going well, and through the viewpoint, it appears that the other Spartan teams are now making progress on their objective as well. The stations begin to explode as they move deeper and deeper into the rings. Upon nearing the main transit node, the Spartans uncover the construction of a massive Covenant supercarrier and decide they will save the big bombs for the big prize. The ODSTs eventually fall behind and are annihilated, and Blue Team takes a shortcut to the main node by blowing a hole through the viewport and floating away through space. They make their way deeper into the station, come upon the center of the hangar, and they arm the warheads.
A lot of sweet action.
Right? This is a good one.
In this chapter. All the ODSTs fight they all die.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what happens when I play Halo. Then with any ODSTs.
Yeah, you take their battle rifle and give them a pistol with 2 bullets left.
Yeah.
And a plasma pistol.
Well, I mean, I wanted to pick up the rocket launcher, and now I don't want the rocket launcher anymore.
That's all canon.
Yep. ODSTs just get squashed every single time, no matter how many you start with.
I think you're confusing ODSTs with just normal Marine shit.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe I am. You're right. ODSTs are a step up.
Here's another example where, Chief trusted the ODST teams to do their job without Spartan support. I mean, the Spartans kind of like blaze the trail through the tubes and everything, but the ODST teams were back there essentially arming the bombs as they went along. So, again, Chief leading the entire team, not just blue team.
Yeah. I wonder if part of John's theory here, though, is like almost masked with the idea of what Spartans can do. And then, like reality isn't really there of like, oh, these ODSTs, which, yes, are, the net's most advanced Marine group, are still just like typical humans without augmentations and fancy armor and aren't, Spartans.
But I have to argue that they probably couldn't do the whole thing themselves.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying.
And then conveniently, as soon as the ODSTs died, blue team was just like, all right, we're just gonna screw the rest of the ring. We're just gonna take a shortcut to the hangar center.
Yeah.
Right, moving on. Continuing chapter 27. Having planned to cut off the Spartans as they made their way around the ring, Satsalai comes upon a holdup of traffic at the next installation. The pressure hatch is closed en route, and a grunt reports they saw armored soldiers float out of the breach. Coming to the realization that the Spartans are outflanking him, orders to the battle net for his forces to converge on the hangar. Back in the hangar, swarms of Covenant burst into the grav lift chamber. John orders Blue Team to toss the bombs and evacuate. The elites make their way for the Spartans, worried more about destroying their enemy than preventing the explosions. Vicious close quarters combat ensues, and John wrestles with a silent shadow warrior to prevent damage from his energy sword. Pretty sweet that we get the energy swords in this book. I think this is your first energy sword spotting?
No, I feel like it's been referenced anytime an elite has been brought up. I feel like it was referenced early on, but I can't.
This was
the thing in this book.
Contact Harvest. I feel like there was a reference to it.
No,
Really?
Harvest didn't have any elites. Remember, it was all brutes.
I apologize. Not Contact Harvest.
You think like Fall of Reach or something?
No, I'm thinking of one of the secondary books. I'll think about it.
All right, well, that's
because it was kind of one of the ones that were like, we always thought it was weird that elites didn't show up until 2552 kind of thing.
Yeah,
and then it was a reference to the.
I saw him in a comic. It was a Collateral Damage comic, and I think.
Oh yeah,
was that it?
Okay.
That I'm thinking of.
I think so. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it's not very often, but we make.
Grabhammer was in Contact Harvest.
True.
Yeah.
The named one, right there with a name.
I named all
shit.
my swords.
It did, yeah. I'll have to look that up.
That'd be good to know.
I got you. Continue, Jim.
All right. Continuing on. The Spartans hop into Banshees and hightail it out of the facility to clear the explosion. He notices Satsalai's brutes also escape in time, and the massive explosion rips the station ring apart. Operation Silent Storm has been successful. Humanity proved that they have the resiliency to take on the Covenant. Knowing that this battle is only the beginning of a long war, John and his Spartans vow to be ready to meet them again. Wrapping it up, in the epilogue, Fleet Master Cavorsi observes the damaged ring break apart and fall into the atmosphere of Zost. He reflects on his decision to trust in the rebel humans and continuing the offensive when his back was against the wall. The Prophet Survey enters and chastises the Fleet Master for defiling their revered Forerunner planet. He threatens that this is the end for Cavorsi, and for once he's heard enough. With a sharp whack of his energy blade, he decapitates Survey. His stewards enter with further news. Satsalai was killed in the explosion, and worse yet, the Spartans have escaped. Perhaps humanity will be a tough opponent going forward. Meanwhile, aboard the Prowler Night Watch, the Spartans and the recovering Johnson recoup from the battle. No Spartans were killed in the fighting, but it was not the case for the Black Daggers. Nearly the entirety of Crowther's force were eliminated taking the orbital ring. More explosions rocked the surface as the remaining nukes, carried by ODSTs who fell in combat, explode around the ring. The Covenant will be back, and the Spartans agree they'll have to have one more task ahead of them, locating and eliminating the traitor Naeto.
And
boom.
Satsalai, he gets murked. This entire book, he's like, oh, go ahead.
Let's start there. Do we think that he's actually dead?
Got his head chopped off. Oh no, Satsalai's the brute. I'm sorry, I'm getting confused with the.
Zatulai
four
is
deaths right
the
there.
elite, the Silent Shadow elite.
Right.
And all we hear is this dude walking, and he's like, "Oh, by the way, Zatulai was killed." I'm like, "Huh, that's if it's true, that's super lame to just hear about it like secondhand." So I'm inclined to think that he is not, in fact, dead.
The way
That's a good
I
point.
interpreted it is that so the chief he fights like these elites, and there's one. I mean, they go into detail like he's swinging at him with his energy sword, and they're fighting, and like he shoots his toe with his shotgun and all this crazy shit. And my interpretation is
Oh.
that's July. And then when the two brutes go up the lift, I think one of them's called like Casper or whatever. They look and they see Zatulai fucking dead, and they look at each other and are like, "Yo, let's piece the fuck out of here." And they start like running towards the other banshees to get out of there, or whatever. Like that's my interpretation. They're like, "Oh
You know
shit,
what?
these guys took out fucking Zatulai. Let's get the fuck out of here."
You
Yeah, that's kind of what I got, Will, too.
Like they literally look at
Especially
each other in bewilderment.
and they were saying like right before, like when Elite, that was, as you're mentioning, probably was actually, I'd like said they're in like some crazy some elite armor that's different from the rest. I think I couldn't
Black and red, I
remember.
think.
Yeah, black and red. Yep. So that's why I mean I didn't realize it till the epilogue when they said Zashlai was dead. I'm like, oh, I kind of piece that together the same way you did, but that's what I was thinking as well.
Like they did this in the Contact Harvest book as well, where the deacon, I can't remember, is the Ungoy deacon.
Yeah, Dab.
I'm not sure. Dadab. Like, Dab, he comes out after seeing Lighter Than Some dead. It's from the chief's perspective,
From
and he's just
Johnson's
like, yeah, this
perspective, yeah.
grunt with, yeah, Johnson's perspective is like this grunt wearing orange starts shooting at the brute for no reason, and I mean he gets killed, but they never explicitly say like, oh, this is Dab that got killed, And I feel like it's a similar situation here where it's like they don't explicitly say that it's
Yeah.
Zatulai that gets killed, but I feel there's enough context clues to be like, okay, yeah, this was Zatulai.
Yeah, I definitely concede to your guys' observation that thinking about what I was reading, and I was like, oh, he just killed a Silent Shadow guy. I guess the only Silent Shadow we knew the entire book was Zatulai, obviously. So I don't know. For some reason, I was thinking that it was just another shadow. Wasn't I guess I was expecting a little bit more of a build up to that battle, but now with the context that it was him, it was a pretty badass scuffle.
Yeah.
Like Chief almost gets the blade into the neck, right? He's like worried for a half second that it cut his carotid artery. He's like,
Yeah.
he's like, while I'm thinking here, like if it had actually happened, I'd already be like unconscious. So I guess I'm okay. This entire book so far, I think the action scenes have just been badass. So
Yeah.
True.
Fleet Master, he takes out the Prophet Survey.
another badass scene. Yep.
Finally. I couldn't stand this guy.
Basically every chapter that he was in, either Zatulai or Avorsi was like, I just really like, I want my inner thoughts to just proceed, and I want to kill this fucking guy. And then it finally happened. I was
Yeah.
glad to see that.
Finally.
Yeah.
Oh, quick coming back to the crap hammer thing. The Fist of Rook.
Nice.
That's Tartarus's grab hammer.
Oh.
It's also known as the Jurhala Nay Ceremonial Warhammer.
Gerald Hanai. That's how you say it.
Thank you, Jurhal
I had
Hanai.
to think about that for a second.
That's right. Yeah, his chieftain. Yep. It's pretty cool looking too.
So, do we think that Nieto is still alive?
Oh, absolutely. That's just classic cliffhanger. Because, like you say, with the other deaths, even the ones we were kind of like, oh, it was not necessarily from a first-person perspective. It's pretty clear, but there's just nothing.
You think Chief is gonna hunt him down?
Yeah, the epilogue basically building up at the Spartans still need to take their revenge on Naoto, and knowing that this is the first book of a trilogy, right?
Wait, this is the first book of a trilogy?
Yeah, where you been, bro?
Oh, I had no idea.
We're actually gonna read book 2 next, so
wait.
Hopefully, we don't have to wait too long on that little cliffhanger. I don't think that Naoto is dead. And then conversely, we have the Fleet Master, who he might want to take a little revenge for getting totally ousted by a group of green guys. So
why is the Mountaineer armor green instead of like camo or
Space
some
camo.
other color or black? Right?
Yeah,
You blend into the space, right? Like black with white spots on it, polka dot. Yeah, why is their armor not polka dot?
you're asking why Chiefs is green? Because obviously the other Spartans.
No, just like there are references to other Spartan Mjolnir armor colors. But yeah, like, did they have a choice, or was it just like, here's some scrap metal that we press into this shape, and it was just whatever this car that we turned into armor looked like? Or like, why is blue team not blue?
That has frustrated me. Yeah,
Confuses the enemy.
you're right. Yeah, it's a diversion tactic.
We can't shoot them. They're not blue.
I mean, from all of my childhood history, red team was red and blue team was blue.
Yeah.
Okay, and these books and depictions are wrong. Has everyone in this group watched Red vs. Blue? At least a little bit, or know what I'm referencing?
Yeah.
Extremely
Long
little.
time ago.
Extremely little.
As a
Dude, I would buy the DVDs from GameStop when they came out.
Wow, super
The
fan.
first couple seasons. So
Bad.
good. So good. So impressive how they could do that on Halo.
It was on Netflix.
Yeah, you can get it on a streaming thing now. I think they're still making episodes or something. I gotta look this up.
That was like Rooster Teeth, right?
Yep. They have 15 seasons.
What was that
That's
stuff about,
crazy.
James? Was it just like a sitcom, basically, like Friends?
Not necessarily. Like, you get the two different groups and their personalities are a little bit different, but it was around at least the first couple of seasons are like the idea of like, okay, there's these two groups of, yes, Spartans, but like they're at war with each other. So they knew Red versus Blue knew they were at war with each other. You treat it like any multiplayer. Or like the first season's all about them in Blood Gulch, and literally it's about capturing the flag too. So it's kind of like these elements of what makes up multiplayer, but you have so much different personality with each character, and it's funny. It's so funny. It's worth watching. Oh, they did a whole film recently in 2024. It looks like the last season. It looks like they have 19 seasons, and that wrapped up in 2021, and then they did a movie in 2024. Okay, so it looks like for story arc, so people know, the first 5 seasons are based upon Blood Gulch, and was from like 2003 all the way to 2007. So mix of Halo, CE, into Halo 2. And I really don't I don't really know much after that where the story goes. But it's good. It's good. It's stupid humor. The only thing I will
I'll check
say
it out
is
one day.
we can
was
move
a
on
classic.
from sorry, a little
No, it's classic. I think
deviation
it
here.
sounds like we need to do a special one-off episode.
Yeah, I do think we should watch at least the first couple episodes, maybe the film too, and do a little mini
I wonder if the film. I can't imagine. Do you think they opened up more of like a creator thing with the Master Chief Collection, where you could do like what is it, Team Fortress or whatever, where you can do more kind of customized animation instead of aiming down a pistol?
I bet again.
For a whole
So like
hour and a half movie.
looking, yeah, I'm looking at Wikipedia. It looks like as per
later seasons were like
later,
straight up
yeah,
animation. Like they had,
okay.
yeah, like
it was
in
more like a
2020.
cinematic movie than it was just two dudes
Then just
talking at each other.
captured
in
in-game
Blood Gulch.
Halo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm gonna see if I can't grab some. Maybe we can do a little movie night.
That's a fun idea.
Oh,
Any more thoughts on the book or Red vs. Blue?
I thought it was an awesome book. A lot of cool stuff going on.
Very good action for sure.
Yeah.
yeah, I could just picture some of these like being Halo missions, really.
Ooh, that's a good point. I
Mm-hmm.
think especially as they're flying around, dropping the nukes off and stuff.
Yeah.
That definitely
Yeah, I
does
want to
feel
drop
like it
more
was a
nukes.
yeah. It feels like it was a Halo mission, like a game mission. All right, well, nobody's got any other thoughts on the book?
I'm excited. I didn't know it was a trilogy. I'm excited to
Yeah, part 2,
get started on the next part 2.
and see if Darth Nayato comes back.
Yeah.
So, moving on to our final portion of the evening, PvP tournament. But before we do battle, tonight's episode match is sponsored by Master Chief Motors. From the ring to the road, we've got you covered. Are you tired of boring civilian rides without any firepower? Looking for a do-it-all vehicle that can withstand being dropped from a Pelican and take your child soldiers to school? Then come on down to Master Chief Motors, your #1 UNSC certified dealership. This month only, Warthog Week Blowout. Due to an AI malfunction, we've got over 500 25-24 model year Warthogs that must go. 4-wheel drive, mounted turret, and room for the whole family. Gas mileage, non-existent. Fun, infinite. All vehicles come with our patent no covenant back guarantee. If an elite hijacks your vehicle within 30 days, we'll give you a full refund. You heard right, Spartan, a full refund. Located just past the Pillar of Autumn, next to the burned out remains of humanity's last hope. Financing available for Spartans, ODSTs, and anyone with a valid Williams owner license. Covenant need not apply. We do not serve routes. Master Chief Motors.
Hey, Jim, you forgot to mention the 10,000 clicks powertrain warranty.
Oh yeah, the warranty. Yep.
Don't want to miss out.
You have the glassing resistant coating.
They're
You're gonna need that.
yeah, plasma resistant undercoating. You're gonna want the plasma resistant undercoating.
It comes stock with the mounted turret,
It does.
but you can also upgrade to the Gauss if
Upgrade to the upgrade to the
if you
missiles.
want a little bit more punch,
I want the flamethrower edition.
If you really want it, you could ask for some customized wraps, just not get that standard UNSC green. You could get any different flavor you want.
Mix up the colors.
Get a Cybertruck
Hey Jim,
wrap.
what was the towing capacity on these? How many ghosts could you tow on the back
You could
of a trailer?
tow at least 3 ghosts.
Oh yeah, yep.
3 ghost towing capacity.
Spooky.
Dude, AI image generation is almost getting tax good.
Did you make
Almost.
Did you make an ad for Master Chief Motors?
Yeah, I'll paste them. It's all
Nice.
all these words are almost words.
Nice.
I missed
Warthog weekend. I like the Warthog weekend blowout.
Yeah,
Actually, tell it to do that one. Tell it to do that one, but then add some of the wacky waving inflatable tube men
Okay.
for Warthog weekend blowout.
No covenant back guarantee.
All right, so our PvP match for this evening. First, recap. Season 2, match 8.
It was match.
We thought we could finally have a full match 9. Okay, so yesterday was match 9, or last week was match 9. Just when we thought we could finally have a full PvP match, things got royally messed up. Charlie's Xbox needed updates, and we decided to play the match another night. And then when that rolled around, other people had to drop out. Long story short, we once again played for 4 points. Match chosen by myself. We played Escalation on Guardian in Halo 3. The game went down to a tie between James and Robbie, and we went to sudden death overtime to settle the score. James came out victorious. So, our updated points for the 9th match in this tournament. James absolutely running away with this now. 31 points to Will and Charlie tied with 21, followed by Robbie in 4th, myself in 5th, and me and Tom at the bottom, but not far away from me with 10.
How did I even get 10 points?
Right? A little too close to me, if you ask. Yeah.
I feel like I played like 3 games
right?
this season.
So close battle to watch though between me and Tom and Robbie, and then also Will and Charlie.
I messed
Well, I
Robbie's.
think I got deducted points for some reason.
I messed Robbie's score, but it's supposed to be 21.
Oh, it's
Sorry,
it's 21.
Oh, it's a
Okay, shit.
three-way
it's a
tie?
3-way tie for second place right now. I'm fixing that. Oh my god. Incredible. What a tight battle. and then me and Tom playing for the booby prize.
I don't know what happened
And
here.
now we gotta fact check this.
They're fact checking it. Rob. All right, so James with 31, Robbie with 22.
Robbie with 22. Okay.
Me and Will have 21. Jim 11, Tom 10. That's the official
Are
score.
you sure I don't have 21?
Tom, there's a lot of purple.
You
on
have
this.
0. No, Tom, it's 0-1. It's supposed to be 0-1.
Tom, you've played 2 matches this season.
Oh boy.
How the fuck, Tom? How did you get almost as many points as me in 2 matches? I played
have
almost
no
all
idea.
of them. Jesus, what the hell?
Jim, you've played 4 matches. And
All right, double the matches. How does that scoring doesn't make sense? I'm calling shenanigans on this whole thing.
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans. Criminy. All right, well, it's all to play for tonight, boys. The Wheel of Fortune has selected Robbie. Robbie, where are we throwing down?
Oh, so I am thinking you guys should battle it out on some classic Halo CE
Ooh.
on Hang 'em High. And I'm thinking Slayer with bankers only. Only rocket launchers.
All right.
Nice.
I hope that's doable.
Sounds
Just
good.
as long as everybody has it downloaded. All right. With the silent storm passing, we hope you had a blasting. As always, you can find us on. As always, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at The Great Journey.
The
Great
Journey.
Pod. Say pod. Yeah, there we go. We're on most major podcast platforms and greatly appreciate your likes, comments, and follows to help boost visibility. Is Satchel dead? What's next for the Cavorsi and his fleet? Will the Spartans get their revenge on Yato? Find out next time. Let us know your thoughts. Feel free to give us your input on media, the topics we discuss, and even your ideas on how to improve what we should cover next. We welcome you to join the journey. If you feel like supporting our show, you can also find us on Patreon at patreon.com/The Great Journey Pod.
Great journey.
Journey Pod.
Your contribution is greatly appreciated. With it, we can offset the cost of hosting, editing, music subscriptions, and media, and fuel for our warthogs, all of which are the things that allow this project to keep going. We aspire to be an interesting, thoughtful, and fun contribution to the Halo community. As a TGJ Patreon member, you will receive a shout out live in one of our episodes, and should you choose, we'll answer a question of yours on air as well. You can ask us something like, what aspect of Covenant life would you like to see explored more deeply?
I want to know, it's not really talked about and probably shunned, but with so many different species and races going on, like what that commingling is like.
Yeah, because really, yeah, it's usually only like one grunt talking to one elite at a time.
Yeah.
It's not really that many, and there's never
And we know there's
larger
like
group hangouts.
obviously and there's like obviously the class system, etc. But like relationship wise, like is it completely shunned? Like in High Charity, like are the grunts literally bottom floors, or like can they commingle? How do you like the Bab, like was he like in a nicer apartment in High Charity, etc. Like
It's a
I'm
good
just
part of
curious
town.
about that. Yeah.
It's a good one.
That is good.
I want to know their cuisine. Like, what do they actually eat? 'Cause, like,
I was
so much
literally
of culture is
That's
your
a
just
food.
thinking that. Yeah, for sure. That's
Yeah.
really good. I was thinking like, what is a restaurant on High Charity look like? And
Right.
is it an integrated restaurant, or is there like the grunts section around back that's got like the leaky pipes dripping on everybody's head, and then there's the elite section up front that's like really nice, or are they all just hanging out? But food is
Yeah.
really good. I think
And
that's
what do
a
they
really important
eat for
part.
snacks? Or like, they serve like slimy goo balls. Like someone's got a hot dog stand outside of like the ministry, and
A brute. I could see brutes selling like burgers and stuff. Having a burger van, brute burger van.
Brutus Burgers.
Yeah. Oh my God! Somebody save that for next week's sponsor. A brute burger joint. Burger brute. Just burger brute.
Burger Brute. I mean, kind of along those lines, I want to know what their kind of recreational activity is. Like, what are their sports? Like, is it griffball? Is it just something completely different? Can grunts play even with their stubby little arms, or is it just all elites that are taking control? I don't know.
That's a good one too.
Are grunts the ball?
With or without the methane packs?
Yeah, right.
Extrapolating on that, Robbie, I want to know, like, they go to the movies. I know that there's an Easter egg in Halo Infinite that is you can climb up to the top of this tower, and they have like a poster and like instruments for like I think it's like a brute hard metal band. So like it does it's like
Awesome.
Oh yeah.
music. Does it exist in their world? Do they go to concerts? That sort of shit.
That's a very Charlie answer. That's
Yeah.
a very Charlie answer.
Yeah.
You
Absolutely.
think the Covenant likes
what
to go
is
to shows?
classical music to them?
Guys, you think the Covenant likes Black Crows?
When does Dave
Listener
Matthews make his
yeah.
stop?
Yeah.
At High Charity.
At High Charity.
Played 2 nights.
Because you know he does.
Right.
To be back in High Charity.
3 nights at the Dome of Reclamation.
I mean, are they Insane Clown Posse side of things, or are they a little bit of blues fans? Also, I broke my AI, by the way. You guys can check literally the direction of where AI is going, and I don't know what happened.
Yeah,
the
what the
last run.
fuck?
I don't know what happened.
The
It's
first,
like a
I know the
hot
first
dog.
batch. The first batch was so good, and then it's just getting more and more insane.
It's because I'm
That
asking it to insert these like inflatable clown, like
Seriously,
wax
it doesn't.
inflatable dudes, and it doesn't
Can't
know
figure
what
that
to
out.
do.
All right, now we know how to stop the Terminator uprising. Is
Yeah,
ask it about
ask
wacky
it.
waving inflatable tube men. Generate a wacky waving inflatable tube man. Cannot compute. I think also maybe the AI realizes like your request is really stupid and just allocates less and less of its processing power to figuring out your stuff. Like, yeah, this is dumb. All right, I'm not spending much. Or I'm not trying to.
I
I mean,
got
this isn't
bigger
cure. This
fish
is
to
yeah.
fry.
This isn't the curing. Yeah, this isn't the curing cancer thing. It gets downgraded. All right. Well, James is shutting down. DD. What is it called when you deliberately attack a website with too much traffic?
DDoS.
DDoS. Yeah, James is
Yeah.
DDoSing Gemini right now. I don't think I actually finished our closeout.
No, you didn't.
Okay. We move on. In the next episode, we pick up after the events of Silent Storm, opening the pages on Oblivion, also written by Troy Denning, covering chapters 1 through 6. As always, thank you for joining us this evening, and we hope to see you back here for the next installment of The Great Journey.
The Great Journey.
Hey, it's Tom, one of your hosts here on The Great Journey. We hope you enjoyed the show, and if you want to connect with us, you can find us on most podcast platforms, as well as Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at The Great Journey Pod. If you'd like to support the show, you can do so at patreon.com/TheGreatJourneyPod. Thank you for listening, and we hope to see you for the next chapter of The Great Journey, The Great Journey, The Great Journey.
Woo! Happy anniversary, boys.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't even
I had
know
no
it was
idea.
a year. Yeah, no
That's
idea.
a long time.
Charlie's
I can't believe it's been
keeping all
going for
the
that long.
secrets. I know, it really doesn't feel that long.
Fantastic.